So, the things before we jump into the episode. First, this is episode 7 of this part 2 of the final season. We will have 12 episodes this part. So, we are already past the first half of this part, and it's really hard to believe and hard to assimilate that we are now more there than here next to the ending, I mean. And in some more few episodes, this part will be over, and we are just so close for so close to seeing Attack on Titan finally ending, and it's extremely bittersweet. I must admit, I love all these characters and I love this story so much. It's going to be so hard. And the other thing is, I want to talk about last episode before starting this one, and some of the things I saw being discussed about it and what happened there. And most of this discussion is about who is right and who is wrong, and what happened with Falco and Jan, Connie, and the others. I know for us it must be completely horrible and gut wrenching to see a child being treated this way. I know it has no excuse. It's really can't be really justified. But I think the purpose of this whole thing going on right now is to let us, the viewers, know and feel how things are so out of the control of these characters and how lost and at the verge of having a mental breakdown they are. Is it weird to see them talking about Falco in that point in which so many things are happening? Maybe. Is it weird for Connie to think about his mom at that moment? And I say, okay, maybe, because I saw some people saying like, who would have thought about their mom in that moment? World is ending, yeah. But I think so many things are going on. Everything is scary. Everything is unknown. They have lost their leaders. They are completely lost, and we have to keep in mind they are like 19 years old, and everything is falling apart, and they are witnessing that. And the person in charge of everything falling apart is who was their friend. Um, I also saw a comment somewhere saying that Sasha will have never allowed them to mistreat Falco that way. And I think we will never know. And maybe it could have been like that. But that's I think that's the point. Sasha is no longer with them. And even though so much time has happened for us, like it's been more than a year, I don't know exactly how much time has happened. For them it's been weeks or days, like I don't remember exactly how much time has happened, but everything is so recent. So basically they went and attacked Liberio, which of course took a toll on them, and then they lost Sasha, and everything spiraled down that from that point. First, it was such a roller coaster of emotion for them. Like they have been through too many emotions, too many things, like all the time. And we see that on Armin and maybe on John especially. All the time they are trying to figure out what is going on, what's happening, why is it happening, and what can they do about it. And we just saw that Connie already lost his mind and went an attack on Jankopon, and the despair was so tangible, like he was having an extremely hard time. The sense of betrayal, the loss of his twin, like he said, his best friend, being there like in prison, thinking about what's going on, what can they do. Jan too, they are all having such a hard time. We know also what happened in the table scene with Armin, Mikasa, and Eren, and all of course that also took an emotional and mental toll on them. So of course things right now, what they are trying to do are not rational. Even if they try to make it as rational as they can, everything is happening so fast. So many things are happening. It's one thing after the other, and seriously, there is no right answer. I think that's the sad thing. From such a long episodes ago, there is no a right answer. Everything is just so messed up, and I think they are trying to see where everything went abyss. How did they happen? How did they arrive to that point? How everything just messed up so much. So Sasha's death definitely left a hole in them, and they are going through so much. Her death, Aaron's betrayal, everything going on, seeing what he is going to do. Um, I'm going to now talk a bit about John, and John is trying to make sense about it. Like, he's doing it for us. How do they feel now, knowing that at some part Eren is destroying the world for them? That also is an emotional toll. That is a burden. It's not something just easy to accept. And on the other side, we had Connie, as I mentioned, he already lost his mind with Onyankopon, and we saw the emotional and mental state he had. And then there is a glimpse of hope of being able to see his mom again, even though it's by doing something that is not right, you know? And we have to take into account that they are kids too, and that right now they have lost their leaders. They all are also thinking that maybe Hanji and Levi are dead gone. So it's basically, we have always been following these people that we admire and look up so much that are also gone. So I think my point with all this is that what happened in the previous episode, as ugly as we can consider those, whatever is going to happen in this one, or I really don't know, is to portray this state of mind and emotional state that they have right now, what they are going through, and how that impact their behaviors and their decisions. And they just lost Sasha, they just lost Eren, and they are feeling betrayed by Eren, and the burden of knowing that what he's doing, the horrible act he's doing, is in part because of them, because he wanted to protect them. Of course, they have no responsibility and haven't been involved in that decision. Eren did that actually without ever consulting them, without ever asking if they wanted. But still, they have been in prison, they have been trying to make sense of what's going on, and now they are seeing in front of their eyes the walls crumbling. They grew up always seeing these walls, and now they're crumbling, and there are huge titans going out of this to destroy the rest of the world, and they are seeing that titan that apparently is Eren, and everything must be just so hard. And what I love is that Isayama made a fantastic job by actually making these characters make these controversial decisions, because that just makes them more human and more relatable to some point. And I have always loved that. Attack on Titan characters are extremely human, are flawed and are emotional and sometimes irrational, but they try to make the best out of the situations even though they make mistakes. And that is an incredible part of Attack on Titan writing. And I know some people are extremely upset with all these characters are doing. And just want you to know that most of these are just emotional responses to which characters are we more attached to, and that is fine. I think that's the third thing that I wanted to say, and is that I have seen so many moral judgment in the fandom depending on who you like. I just want to add that you can like whoever you want without actually justifying what they are doing, and who you are emotionally attached to will make you hate them or not. So if I'm emotionally attached to Falcon. He's my favorite. Of course, I'm going to hate these characters that are doing that to him. But if I'm not attached to him that much, and who I love is Jan and Connie, it's okay to don't feel that bad for Falcon. You know, I think Isayama also wrote a story with such compelling characters that it's okay to be more emotionally attached and engaged with some of them, and with some others not so much. So we tend to have an emotional response, and that's okay, and it's not nice and fun to judge others depending on that. And I think I just wanted to say that, and also that is really not that nice to take sides. I think everything right now is so morally great, and we don't have the right answer, and they don't have the right answer. I don't believe there is just a right answer. I think everything is so complicated. I think Isayama created this such complicated conflict that really there is no right answer, and I don't believe that the message of the story is just to be on each side of whatever. And I just wanna add a bit about that what Nicolo said in the last episode. We all have that like a devil in us, but our job is to keep fighting it. And yes, that applies to our work too. So just wanted to take this out of the way somehow. And now let's start the next episode. Oh wow, it looks so terrifying. Okay, yeah, even people inside the walls are getting hurt by what's going on. Come on. Oh gosh. I feel so bad. I feel so bad that everything came down to this. Actually, it's funny because this is how fandom feels right now. People that are okay with what Eren is doing, and the other ones that. Of course. Of course, there are people taking sides. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like this is inside the walls, like. So he should learn to fight. Oh, but also Annie is weak, okay. Oh gosh. Annie has always been so extreme. Like. Oh. I like Annie designs actually. Everything changed, I think, in season 3 when they started fighting other humans and started killing other humans. And then everything just radically changed even more in season 4. I think this conflict is just extremely complex, and it's really sad how the story got to this point. Like, it's definitely extreme and like a point of no return. So she was listening all that time. Oh my gosh. Already sounds like a punishment, you know? Oh man.
あんたたちの話で外の状況は大体分かっていた。そして
Oh gosh.
突然私は外に放り出され、エレンの声を聞いた。
Oh, must have been so confusing.
あれ、火の後始末。あんたとエレンが暴れた後。
It's so sad that even people in paradise are fearing the consequences of Eren's decision.
何度も聞かれるから考えたよ。考えもしなかったことを。
Oh
国境を
man.
越えれば戦闘員も民間人も区別なく殺していいと教わった。
That's just simply horrible. Marley was horrible.
世界を救う使命のために。
Man, it's just terrible.
正当化された。
Seriously terrible, but actually nothing is justified.
要はあれを止めたかったんでしょ。瓦礫の死体は多少の犠牲だったって言いたいわけ。いや、世界を救うとかどうでもよかった。
That sounds more like it.
どうでもよかった。
I don't really believe that most of the warriors were really stopping everything. I mean, stopping rumbling from happening. It was just something
そん
else.
な私を収容所で豊かにすることだった。
Just selfishness everywhere. Oh my
私は
god.
物心つく前から男の生まれた国の格闘術を叩き込まれた。男にとって私は戦士になれるかどうかの価値しかなかった。
This is just horrible. Oh my god.
私は男が望んだように強くなり、そうなるまで。けど
Oh wow.
男は喜んだ。これなら武器がなくても敵を殺せるって。
Oh man, this is so twisted.
どこの国の
Yeah, Annie has always been
生きようが自分を含めて
weird.
そういうものに価値があるとは思えなかった。
She's such a nihilist, I think. Until
島
when?
向かわさん。男は膝をついて私に謝った。教えたことは全て間違っていたと。そして泣きながら懇願した。
I wonder what made
戦
him
士隊の地位も
uh,
レオマーレ人の称号も
think
全て
different.
捨てていいから帰ってきてくれと。
Maybe the fear of losing his child.
私の父親だった。私を
Most likely.
自分の娘だと思っていた。
Most likely, like reality hit at that moment that
帰りを待つ父親がいる。罪を犯したと思っている。
and that's true. I think we are still remember what happened to Levi's squad.
また同じことをやる。
Oh man.
島の
Okay, so this is in Marley.
そんなガビを。
地ならしが発動されたんだ。エレン・イエーガーが全ての命を奪いに来るぞ。
So that's Annie's father.
踏み潰されるんだよ。俺を信じるに値する根拠が全員拘束する。
Oh gosh, this is
手は頭の後ろだ。さっさとやれ。
sad thing is that these Eldians will also get killed by the rumbling.
帰ってくるって。そう。
Okay, of course. Now they're helping him. At least they're feeling grateful.
私の居場所はどこにもない。
Don't say that, Shades.
先ほどうなじをそぐなりして弔ったばかりだ。
That's sad. That's the true one. That's so sad.
イエーガー派は民衆に支持する。ノブそして余生を過ごす体力もないしな。俺たちは教官の助けがなければ死んでました。何があっても俺たちが教官を守ります。バカ者どもが。
Oh no.
私が何のためにしょんべん小僧どもの足毛をおとなしく受けたと思っておるのだ。 貴様らはイエーガー派に従い、決して背くな。
Oh my god, so he was doing everything to help.
体制の中にいろ。
So basically there is hope in more future generations.
コニーには追いつけない。それに追いついたとしてどうするの？お母さんを人間に戻すことを諦めろって言うの？言うよ。ダメだったとしてもできる限りのことを行動で示さなきゃいけない。じゃないと
I love Armin.
信用を得られない。あの子が頼りだ。
Oh man.
まだどこかに潜んでるライナーや車力の巨人をおとなしくさせられるかどうかがかかってる。9つの巨人の継承をかけた問題が消えるわけじゃないから。最悪なのは
It hasn't.
この巨人の力をめぐって争い続けた
Oh
2000年
man.
を繰り返す。
He's already thinking about the future and thinking what they can do right now.
正直今すぐベッドに入って2日間程度眠りこけたいくらいには疲れてるけど、とにかく
I'm sure.
今できるだけのことをしなくちゃ。こじんまりした今後の人類史に大きく影響するだろうから。
Oh god, this is such a huge
振り
burden.
返った巨人のままでもいいんじゃないかって
Yeah.
言ってくる。
Everything looks so grim right now.
私はどうしたらいいの？ジャンの手助けをしなよ。少しは自分で考えて。エレンのことどうするの？わからないよ。それにどうしようもないだろ。ハンジさんと兵長は殺されたかもしれないし、フロックたちが僕らにも銃口を向けるかもしれない。それに兄が復活したかもしれない。もう兵団の指揮系統は機能してない。無秩序だ。
My gosh, I feel so bad. Like seriously, that is fair.
義勇兵やアズマビト、ニコロの立場も危ういことになる。
He's completely overwhelmed. I think they all are completely overwhelmed and in this desperation. Oh my gosh. Oh man. This was oh man. This was so raw.
エルヴィン団長がこの場にいたら、こんな無様に当たり散らしたりしなかったの。
The survivors killed.
今
Oh my gosh.
答えが出た。生き返るべきだったのは僕じゃなかった。
Oh no. Poor Mikasa and actually poor Armin. I think I feel terrible for all of them. I love Sasha's family. Oh, Nicolo.
早くここから離れた方がいい。ミア、
Yeah, they need to get to a safe place.
じゃあね、カヤ。さよなら。
Oh, this is cute. Oh my gosh.
してなかった。だがこれで伝わっただろう。口の聞き方を間違えたらどうなるのかが。みんな。
Okay. Flush is such a terrible leader. Come on.
お前たち義勇兵がこの島に来た動機である故郷の復興の夢も失う。それでも
That's just so cruel.
帝国のために力を貸してくれる者がいるなら声を上げよう。我々は歓迎しエルディア人として迎える。
How cool they? They are destroying their homes and expect them to just support that? Oh my gosh.
義勇兵の誇りを貫いた。
It's not about that. It's not about submission. It's not about pride.
いいじゃないか。
It's about, oh my gosh. It's not about that.
するより生きてた方が。手になって内地で快適に暮らしたかったんだろ。そうしろよ。お前は英雄の一人なんだから。
Oh man. Again, Jan is so
昔
overwhelmed.
のちゃんに戻れよ。いい加減でムカつく生意気な野郎よ。
Flush didn't even really know old Jan.
ブロック。リヴァイ兵士長とハンジ団長はどうしたの？
Oh man.
残念ながらジークに殺された。コニーさん、俺は兵士になった。
コニー、みんなを守る。
Oh my gosh. He had siblings. I had forgotten.
戻ってこないけど、母ちゃんだけは取
Oh
り戻せる。
man.
少しだけ待っててくれ、母ちゃん。俺は兵士になって、そして。ありがとうございます、コニーさん。
Oh my gosh, this is so heartbreaking.
のためにここまでしてくれるなんて。いいんだ。コニーさんがいい人でよかった。でも、
Oh man.
なんとかして南に戻らなきゃ。兄貴とガビに合流したところ。
Oh, he remembers something.
でも、その後は一体何。
He actually remembers a lot.
それに、コニーさん、俺はどこかで見たことある気がするんだ。
How much does he remember?
さんが俺を知らないなら気のせいか。
Oh, from the airship.
あの進路と速度から考えると、撤退戦はあのままマーレに。
ただ、
Oh my gosh.
間もなくもがくまでだ。
That's Hanji. Finally back. Oh my god.
とりあえず食べないで。こちらには何の武器もありません。
Finally back.
あっちに誰かいる？ご安心ください。
Oh my gosh, Levi.
人畜無害の死に損
Oh
ないです。
my gosh. My guy. To be continued.
進軍する巨人の軍勢、やがて何も知らぬ人々を踏みつぶすそれを見上げ、立ち尽くすのか、立ち上がるのか。次回、教授。
Oh my gosh. We didn't have any ending. And I didn't notice until the very end. Okay, I feel like this episode is one of the most emotional and heavy right now. And like I said before this, before watching the episode, and it shows how overwhelmed, how desperate, the burden, the crazy state of mind and emotional state that all of them have right now. I feel like I love Armin's moment. Really love that. I feel like all his words is everything that he has kept inside him and finally came out, lashing out against Mikasa. I felt so bad for Mikasa though, but I completely understand Armin. Of course, lashing out like that to her was bad, but I like that he immediately after felt bad. Like he recognized immediately after he recognized the mistake that he had made and feels bad about it. And not only feels bad about it, but again, in all Armin's essence, is feeling bad about himself and is again feeling not good enough. This has always been Armin. Armin has always been like that. He has always have these insecurities and this kind of inferiority complex. And I'm glad it's being explored now. I kind of wish that we had explored this before and that we had seen that survivor's guild. We barely even saw anything about it, so we are just seeing now. But I think that even since he came back to life, he has been feeling like he was not the right choice. He was the wrong choice, and it was completely a mistake to choose him instead of Erwin, and to now he being the one in this situation, and he believes that Erwin probably would have made a better job. And actually, if Erwin had been alive, everything had been so different. But I think, and like I mentioned before the episode, the fact that Sasha is not here can explain many of the things that are happening, and the fact that Erwin is not here also explain a lot of the things that are happening, because practically the scouts lost their leader, and we were left with Hanji that didn't really know what to do, Levi, who had like a different role, and Armin with these insecurities and this burden and this survivor's guilt, and everything went down, and everything is cheating now. Of course, Armin is thinking it shouldn't have been me, and I think everything was like heating up until this boiling moment in which he lashes out and do that to Mikasa. But I think that his words are really, really good, and I'm so glad that this moment finally happened, because I thought it was something that should have been explored more. So it's finally happening. I don't think we should really blame Mikasa or blame Armin. We shouldn't go against any of them. It's something that happens between friends and between humans, and this situation is hellish. So of course someone is supposed to lash out. Like, it's actually, I'm surprised that everything is not even worse with everything that's going down. I mean, John, on the other hand, it's losing his mind also, and is thinking, is really things even over? I think he's considering right now to just rest, you know, like, oh my gosh, I've been through a lot, there is nothing really we can do, I just going to rest. I want to rest. And Army mentioned it, like, I could go to bed and sleep for so many days. Everything has been terrible, and I really liked it. I also like the adaptation. I don't remember much of the manga here, honestly. Like, I was probably so surprised as you guys, but I like it. It was a consistent episode, so I'm really glad. And the color palette was really nice too. Soundtrack was also really good. I think overall this was a really solid episode in terms of animation, and that makes me happy. I wanted to say another thing about this episode, and it's about the perception that people may have of Eren Yeager. And one thing is to be in Shiganshina and see everything that's going on, and another thing is being an alien elsewhere. So if you're inside the walls, you just saw an Eren Yeager, and he is doing whatever to the outside world, but in that thing, he is destroying also your homes, is harming you, or maybe even killing you, or some people that you may love. So of course they are going to be resentful towards Eren Yeager. You know, it's someone you really don't know, and suddenly that person takes a decision, even a decision for yourself, and that decision is causing you so much pain and so much harm. So of course there is the resentment, and there are the people that believe that he is right for doing that, and sacrifices must be made. I wonder if those people believing that sacrifices must be made have been lucky enough not to have their home destroyed or any loved ones being harmed by what is going on. So everything is about perspective, about selfishness, and about our own experiences, of course. So I think this is a really nice point being made right now. And I wanted to mention the lady that said that she hated Eren Yeager. I don't remember the exact words, that he had destroyed his home, and she didn't even know who he was or anything. And that is how people outside the walls are going to be feeling. Like, suddenly they are just getting their homes and loved ones and themselves being trampled on. So it's definitely good that we are even seeing that other side of the picture inside the walls, and also about all the aliens outside of the walls. I think right now the world is expanding a bit, and we are learning that aliens around the globe that are in different nations, they are seeing what Eren's message was, and they know basically that they only have few moments left, and it's scary and it's something definitely unfair. Eren made a decision for all the people in Paradise, and of course not all of them are going to agree with him, but he made that choice for them. So in some way he took a bit of their freedom, and it's ironic in a way that person doing this for freedom is taking the freedom of others, not only the ones that are supposedly a threat to them, but also the ones that he is trying to protect. So everything is extremely complex, like I have said, and it's just really difficult. I feel really heartbroken. I think this part of the story is extremely heartbroken. I feel really bad, and like I wish we hadn't gone this way, because it's really difficult to see all these characters going through that and to see the main character do this. But the world was also so twisted. We saw Annie's backstory, and I think timing of that was really nice. Um, her life and her dad and everything, like life outside for aliens was hell, and it's just really hard to see how everything was for them. And we saw a lot of Annie's character here, that she didn't care for anything. But I remember her crying in season 1 when she was seeing some dead bodies and she was asking for forgiveness, and she was also uh, worried about Armin's opinion of her and if she was a good person to him. So I think a part of her does care, but she really definitely has a different view of the world and of everything, and that comes with her personality and her upbringing. I mean, she can't has her dad to that at the point, but then her dad finally realized that he cared for her and not only for the status that her being a warrior could give him. The moment she was going to be sent away, and the moment he knew that he could lose her or never see her again. Um, so I think this part of the story is to show all the human aspects in each of these characters and all the human aspects of this conflict. I think right now it's not about picking sides. I think right now it's just about knowing where the story is going and what is the message that the author wanted to transmit to us. And let's see how everything goes. I can't believe, again, we are only 5 episodes away for this part to end. So let's enjoy what's left of Attack on Titan. I think let's enjoy the story. Let's enjoy the last part of the journey of these characters, because in a few weeks it will be over. So see you next week.